Good day, everyone. I would like to share some brand new health education information with you today. I think everyone, both men and women, clearly sanitary pads are women's good friends. But do you know that the wrong use of sanitary pads will result in serious results that negatively affect your health? You may now become very serious and think, what sort of knowledge is behind the small pad? Next, we will use an interesting experiment to unveil this mysterious pad. Here, there are 3 sanitary pads on the table. These 2 are general brand products that you can purchase at stores anywhere. But this pad is very different. It is a remarkable new product by GoodARCH. Its name is a GoodARCH Kung Fu Row breathable pads. How is it so different from generic market brands? Now, I am going to conduct an experiment to let you know the difference. Our GoodARCH breathable pads first differ from others in their smell. Smell it, and you will find a fresh fragrance because it contains essential oils of jasmine, Indian mint, and eucalyptus. After use, it will fill you with joy. Then let us open the pad. We will open all 3 of them. What do you see? Look at the surface layer of our pad. How important is it? First, it directly contacts our skin. If it is not soft enough, we will not feel comfortable. These are the pads of generic market brands, and when I touch them with my arm, I feel the roughness. Do you know on average we take about 4,000 steps a day? During our periods, we use the sanitary pads around the clock. So for the average 4,000 steps, we need to make contact with this roughness while walking. We make contact with the textile surface. The 4,000 steps will easily cause redness and inflammation. So the first layer of soft cotton is very important. Our GoodARCH Far Infrared Ray Kung Fu Row breathable pads have a first layer that uses premium soft textile imported from Japan. They are fine and soft, and you will feel very comfortable when they directly contact your skin or during exercises, even vigorous ones. No burdens will be placed on our skin. Next, we will talk about the key of sanitary pads. What are sanitary pads? They are sanitary products used by women during their period. What is the key of sanitary pads? It is the absorption ability. If pads are not good at absorption, they cannot be called good sanitary pads. We now will begin the test to see the absorption abilities of 3 pads. First, as you can see, we add 20 cc color solution in the measuring cup. The color solution is made of water and iodine for convenience to clearly identify the experimental results. We then pour the 20 cc solution on our pad. The 20 cc solution represents the volume of the first day of our periods. The volume curve of our periods is shown as a hill. It first increases gradually and then decreases gradually. The 20 cc solution is equivalent to the volume of menstrual blood in the first day of the period. We look at these 3 pads. When I pour the solution, we can see the absorption abilities. They all work fine since the menstrual blood volume in the first day is not much. Then we add more water. Okay, these are 3 pads after we add more water. With our naked eye, it is not easy to clearly see the absorption abilities. We gently place tissues of generic market brands on our pads to check their absorption abilities. We use our hand to gently press the pads. Okay, we can see the first pad. It is totally wet. What does that mean? That means the absorption ability is not so good. Then, let's look at the second pad. More than 1/2 of the tissue is wet. What does that mean? It means the absorption ability is not so good, and the moisture flows back to the tissue surface. So the tissue is wet. Then we look at our far infrared ray permeable pad. The tissue on the top is almost dry. What does that mean? That means the solution is quickly absorbed by our far infrared ray permeable pad and transferred deeply. The surface is thus very dry. It surely gives you a very comfortable feeling during use. We will now conduct the same test. We again add 20 cc color solution to our pad. This represents the gradual increase of menstrual blood volume. As we mentioned, the curve of menstrual blood volume of female periods is like the shape of a hill. It gradually increases at first and then gradually decreases. So we add 20 cc solution on the pads, representing the gradual increase of menstrual blood volume. Then we again place a tissue on the pads added with water. Use the same move to test the pads. After absorbing the 40 cc solution, we check their absorption abilities. Again, we use both hands to gently press the pads. The first pad, as we can see, is wet. What does that mean? It means after absorbing the 40 cc solution, the absorption ability is not so good. Then let us look at the second pad. The tissue on the top is also wet. Like the first pad, after adding 40 cc solution, we see the problem. We now look at our Hongwei Junda far infrared ray pad and the tissue on top. It is dry, as we can see. What does that mean? It means, as what I said and emphasized, it absorbs the 40 cc solution completely and quickly to keep the surface dry. Okay. Again, we conduct the same test. We add 20 cc more solution to the pads. Why do we need to add 20 cc more solution? Because for periods, we, as women, know very well that from the second day to the third day, the maximum volume can instantly reach to 60 cc. So if the pad cannot absorb the instant volume of 60 cc of menstrual blood, what problems will it cause? It is easy to have outward and side leakage. A woman will be very embarrassed. Next, we again put the tissue on the pads that have 60 cc solution added to see their absorption abilities. Again, we put tissues on the 3 pads. Same move. We gently press the top of the pads, like this. Okay. Okay, let us check the first pad. The tissue is all wet. That shows this pad is disqualified. It is disqualified because after adding the 60 cc solution, it cannot absorb anymore. Infiltration has occurred. That wets the tissue. This is the tissue on the second pad. It is also wet. What does that mean? That means if we use it, its absorption ability is not so good. When infiltration is observed on the pad, first, it is not comfortable. Second, it is easy to cause embarrassment and outward leakage. It easily gives us trouble. Then we look at the third pad, our Hongwei Jundab permeable pad. The tissue on its top again is almost dry. It feels very comfortable. When the wind blows it, do you see it? It is dry. Then we add 20 cc water to each measuring cup for the final absorption ability test of pads. Okay, again, we pour the 20 cc water on the pads. This pad has serious outward leakage. Then let us look at the second pad. Okay. Let us look at the third far infrared ray Kongfuro pad. Okay. We finish adding the 20 cc water. We will do something interesting here. We roll the pad. What will we test? We call it the pressure test. That is to say, when we use the pad, we actually are not static. We are dynamic. So you may walk, run, or sit. Besides the absorption ability, the pad needs to have important moisture-proofing ability. If its moisture-proofing ability is not so good, when you move, the change of your movement will easily cause outward leakage or side leakage. Let us look at the moisture-proofing ability of the first pad. If the moisture-proofing ability is good, when I press the pad, no water will come out. But as we can see, the first pad easily loses water. We see plenty of water. Okay, for this pad as a woman, I will not purchase it. Okay, we now look at the moisture-proofing ability of the second pad. What I just emphasized is that because we do not use the pad statically, we use it dynamically. If the moisture-proofing ability is poor, when you move, outward leakage and side leakage will easily occur. Please take a look here. I gently press the second pad. The core is in charge of absorption easily come out. That means it is easy to have side leakage because the side coverage is not so tight. Then let's look at our far infrared ray permeable pad. Do you see it? No matter how hard I press, it gives you good protection. The macromolecule attached absorption cores keep the water. No water comes out no matter how hard I try. The pad gives you ease. You must be very curious about what the macromolecule attached cores are. Next, I am going to show what they are. First, we use the scissors to cut the pad. For this pad, water comes out. I am not going to cut it. For this brand, we cut it out. We will make the comparison and you will know the merits of our pad. After cutting it out, we will deconstruct it. We tear the first layer, the very permeable surface layer. Then we look at the first layer of other brands. Okay. As you can see, this is the first soft cotton layer of our far infrared ray permeable pad, as well as the one of another brand. What's the difference? Do you see it? The color makes the difference. Why? Because after adding the color solution on the first soft cotton layer, there is no color residue on the top. What does it mean? It means the water is retained after flowing through the second, third, and fourth layers. The water is tightly retained and absorbed. There is no infiltration. The pad is extremely dry. Even after the ADC solution is added, it is also dry. Let's look at the other brand. The color is seen on the top. It means there is water residue on the first layer. So after we add the ADCC solution, besides squeezing out water easily, it has water on the top. When the pad contacts our skin directly, it is wet. It does not feel comfortable. You need to replace the pad very often or you may not feel comfortable. The discomfort is a major drawback. This is the first layer. Then I am going to show you the star product of our Hongwei Junda, its power. The cores on the second layer contain powder. It has far infrared ray triple effectiveness, various types of natural essential oil, and arguline. Let me show you the decomposition of our pad. This is the third layer, the lint-free paper. The 360-degree lint-free paper covers our fourth layer. Let me turn it over. Throw it away. This is the fourth layer. The high molecular attached cores that tightly lock in water and retain it. With this 360-degree lint-free paper, I can show you that no matter how I move, there is no side leakage. It is just dry. Next, let me see the fifth layer. This is our permeable bottom film. It is thin and permeable. It permeates air, not water. This is the fifth layer. Now we will look at the sixth layer, the permeable back gluing. It contains no fluorescent agents and it adopts continuous design. The continuous pad design prevents dislocation. This is our seventh layer. Anti-adhesive release paper that fully covers and protects the back gluing. Next is the eighth layer, the extensive coverage film that fully covers our pad to prevent moisture and gives you a soft touch. So from the first layer to the eighth layer, we have carefully provided you with our far infrared ray permeable pad. Okay, the interesting tests are completed. Our Hongwei Junda far infrared ray permeable pad has unique characteristics from layer 1 to 8. You all shall be very clear about them now. Think carefully when you purchase sanitary pads. Thank you.